keep getting mad, angry on every little things. And it's always from the family. Husband and wife, father and mother, brother and sister, and our children. And then when it started, we don't know how to stop it. And it keep burning like that, right? When the fire catch and it burn, we don't know how to stop that fire. And we try our best to stop it, but the more we try, the more it burns, because we added more fuel to it. And in order for us to know how to stop all that, know how to manage our emotions, we definitely have to practice mindfulness. That I'm pretty sure with you all that without mindfulness, we just gonna go back to our old days and continue suffering. Even if we spend our whole life seeking for peace, we still cannot find it. If we expect the world to bring peace to us, it's not going to happen. But we have to bring peace for ourselves, to ourselves. We have to be the one who created. Something that you created for your own, it will last. Something that people brought it to you, it won't last. It won't last because those are with condition. Anything that people brought to you always come with condition. Right? If I give you this, you have to be like this in order for you to get this. But if you create it for yourself because you know that you need it, you know that you love yourself, that's why you do it for yourself. Nobody in this world loves you more than yourself. Even the one who always say that I love you forever. That is just a saying. That's not true. Yes, of course, he or she love you forever at that moment when you still be able to give him or her what they need. What if you just turn away, turn around and not giving him or her what he needs or she needs? That is not forever anymore. It's going to stop right there. Because it's always come with a condition, right? Love alone still have selfishness. Love is always come with a condition. Because you have this, that's why I love you. Believe it or not, with that, we come together as a family. There's a condition in between. Not just, because we love each other so much and things like that. No, there's something in between. That is why we love each other. And then when that thing is gone, love break. It's fragile right there. Right? So you have to be the one who loves yourself more than anyone else. You love yourself to the point that you will not do anything to harm you. You love yourself to the point that you will not say anything that is hurtful to the other and yourself. If you say something hurtful to the others, it will come back to you. Right? Just a matter of time. It will come back to you. So if you love yourself, then you wouldn't do that. Because you know what comes around, what goes around, it comes around. So don't do that if you truly love yourself. And if you love yourself, you don't do anything to harm the other by action. The others mean human beings and beings. And beings. We are grateful to live in this country, but there are many other countries that, animals, they've been killed and tortured a lot. I don't know much about it in this country, but many other countries, animal being killed, animal being tortured a lot. So torturing the other being, that also will come back to us. In our belief, we have this human being realms, heaven realms, Ashura, Beta, hungry ghosts, hell, and animal realms. So there always, when I talk, I always talk about the animals. I said, what is the code? What do you think when there's an animal, there's a dog, just a straight up, just running around, and then when they see you, it just keep following you forever. It will not let you go. Just like Aloka. Just like Aloka walking, been living in the street for many years, 2 or 3 years after he born. And then when he saw the monks walk, he just take off and then join the monks. Even though at the beginning he didn't even have anything to eat. Right? We feed him with some cake, some snacks, things like that. But he keep on following. And he won't stop. But there were so many dogs also follow us too. And they drop out within a couple of days. Only Aloka left. Only Aloka left. And so why he keep following us and then following me just like a tail? And not just Aloka, he is one of the sample. But I want to tell you that for right now, he's been born as a dog form, right? In his past, he probably been a monk already, but he committed into some unwholesome things. He broke his rules and regulations. As monk, we have 227 rules. And when he don't keep his rules pure, and then when we die, right at that moment before we die, our heart stopped beating. Before that moment, only that person can see what's happening in their mind, just like a movie, rewinding the whole life of that person. Either they have done good or bad throughout their life, whichever is strong. That person just lying there and seeing all that images running around, running back and forth, just like that. And that is why sometimes you see they craving, they asking, they calling for help, because all those scary images in their mind, all those sound, crying out from the animals who dying because they've been killing, all those things, only that person knows. I say, at that moment, that person died. Whatever images that he or she sees within that moment before he died, they will reborn as that being. Animal realm. In that animal realms, as chicken, dog, cat. A lot of stories about this. And so Aloka, same way. I truly believe in that. And he found us. That is why I named him Aloka. Aloka means light. Because I know that he deserves to have the light of wisdom. So I named him light to walk with us in this journey so that he can find the lights of wisdom. That's the whole reason why I named him Aloka. And so if you see any animals around you that is attached to you so much, and that animal is not the one who been born in your family, it's just from somewhere, think about they probably our relative in the past. Now that they have to born in that form, but they're still coming back to look for us. That is why we shouldn't kill. That is why we shouldn't punish. That's why we shouldn't harm any animal at all. The reason why we have so much sickness It's because we've been killed people, and I mean not people. If we kill people, then of course we're gonna pay a lot. If we punish animals, we harm animals, torturing animals, we get sick a lot. Anything that is harms the others, in return, we've been sick all the time. That is why so many people come to me. I don't know, what have I done? I didn't do anything. But how come I have all kind of sickness? Every day I cannot bear those feelings. I said, yes, within this lifetime. Within this lifetime, you look very pure, you look very calm and very nice person. Right? You didn't do anything harmful, you didn't kill anybody, any animal. But what about your past? What about your past? If you have committed, if you have done it, you cannot escape. When those karmas ripen, there's nowhere in this world for you to escape, to hide. Okay, so I want to tell you all that things to come to one thing. Any family member within our family, especially our kids, they come to us for a reason. We probably owe them from the past. We owe them a lot. Now they come to ask us to pay it off. Or when they come to your family and they do a lot of things to make you happy, they never make you cry. It means that they owe you a lot. They come to pay it off. So regardless what you've been getting, what you're getting right now within your family, husband and wife, kids, brother and sisters, there's always things in between. Let's say you don't have a peaceful family at all. Think that way, that probably we have done a lot of unwholesome things in our past. That is why we owe a lot of things to these people. Now that is our time to pay it off. You cannot run away. There's a lot of time that you want to run away, but you couldn't. And there are some people that they cannot handle it anymore. They committed to suicide. Or they go out of their mind. They cannot live no more anymore. A lot. I've seen a lot. Encounter a lot, because as a monk, a lot of people come to talk with us because we deal with this a lot. And so within our family, if we cannot find peace within our family, there will be no peace around us. You just have to know how to accept things in our life. Accept things means whatever happening within our family, instead of react, we accept the way it is right now and try to find the peaceful way to solve it. Don't react with anger, hatred. Because the more we react with anger, the more we suffer. We cannot fix anything, we cannot resolve anything. But if you stay calm, your mind will be pure. When your mind is pure, wisdom will arise. When that wisdom arises, you know what you should do. Then you resolve the problem easily. And all that requires to have a mindful thoughts, mindful thinking, way of thinking. And without mindfulness, we cannot do this, unfortunately. Because we keep on reacting so quickly. Remember, we react so quickly to any problem. We don't even have a moment to pause, to rethink before we say something, before we do something. We are just like a machine, acting just like that. And now that we are training ourselves to be a better person, to live with peace and happiness, we definitely have to practice more mindfulness within our breath. Talking about the breath over and over, you probably be bored already. Are you? Well, I'm glad because
we live in a world that is constantly selling us the idea of peace. We are told that if we just find the right vacation spot, the perfect partner, the quietest neighborhood, or the most comfortable retirement plan, we will finally exhale and feel that elusive sense of calm. We treat peace as a commodity, something external that can be acquired, gifted, or arranged if only the conditions are right. Yet, as we move through our busy, often chaotic lives, we find that the world is remarkably uncooperative. The traffic is still loud, the news is still frightening, and the people around us, even those we love most deeply, still know exactly how to push our buttons. It is in this landscape of modern restlessness that the teachings of Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, the spiritual leader of the Walk for Peace, resonate with a profound and necessary clarity. His message is a gentle but firm reversal of our usual logic. If we expect the world to bring peace to us, we will be waiting forever. The world cannot give us what it does not possess. Instead, the peace we so desperately seek is a sanctuary we must build with our own hands, brick by brick, breath by breath, inside the fortress of our own hearts. The Venerable's insight begins where our lives are often most tender and most turbulent, within the family. It is a universal paradox that we can be perfectly polite to strangers, patient with coworkers, and charming to acquaintances, yet the moment we cross the threshold of our own homes, our fuses shorten. As the transcript of the pilgrimage suggests, the anger that burns us most intensely almost always comes from the family, husband and wife, father and mother, brother and sister. These are the relationships where our defenses are down and our expectations are high. When a conflict ignites in the living room or the kitchen, we often feel helpless, as if a fire has suddenly caught in the curtains. Our instinct, driven by panic and pain, is to do something immediately to stop it. We shout, we argue, we defend, we counterattack. But in our frantic attempt to extinguish the flames of discord, we often do the very opposite of what is needed. We add fuel. We throw our own anger onto the fire of their anger, hoping to smother it, but instead, we only create a larger conflagration. This cycle of reactive emotion is the primary source of our suffering. We suffer not because the conflict exists, but because we do not know how to hold it. We try to manage the fire with more fire. The wisdom offered here is that to stop the burning, we must first stop the reacting. We must understand that the peace of the home is not created by forcing everyone else to behave perfectly. It is created by our own refusal to add more fuel to the pile. This requires a radical shift in how we view our role in the family. We are not there to win arguments or to mold others into our image of perfection. We are there to be the designated holder of the calm, the one person in the room who refuses to let the spark become an inferno. It is a solitary work at first, building peace for oneself so that it can eventually radiate outward, but it is the only kind of peace that lasts. Anything else, peace that depends on your spouse being in a good mood or your children being quiet, is conditional, fragile, and ultimately temporary. To maintain this kind of composure, we need a motivation stronger than mere willpower. We need a redefined understanding of love, specifically self-love. In our culture, we often confuse self-love with indulgence, bubble baths, treats, or ego stroking. But from a mindfulness perspective, true self-love is an act of spiritual self-protection. Venerable Panikkara challenges us to look deeply at the nature of our relationships, noting that even the most romantic declarations of loving you forever are often transactional. We love others because they make us feel good, because they provide security, or because they fit into our plans. When they stop providing those things, the love often fractures. This is conditional love, and it is inherently unstable. In contrast, true self-love is the wisdom to know that everything we do to others eventually returns to us. It is the law of the echo. If you shout anger into a canyon, anger rebounds to your own ears. If you throw hatred out into the world, it circles the globe and hits you from behind. Therefore, if you genuinely love yourself, if you truly want to protect your own spirit from suffering, you will refuse to harm another being. You will bite your tongue before a cruel word escapes, not just because it is nice to be polite, but because you know that the cruel word is a boomerang. By refusing to hurt others, you are essentially building a shield around your own well-being. This perspective shifts morality from a list of rules we have to follow into a logical, compassionate strategy for a happy life. We become kind because we understand that our own happiness is inextricably linked to the happiness of those around us. We cannot poison the water in the village well and expect our own cup to remain clean. This interconnection extends far beyond the walls of our human homes. It reaches out into the natural world, touching the lives of all sentient beings. One of the most touching illustrations of this truth is the story of Aloka, a stray dog who joined the peace walk. For years, Aloka lived a hard life on the streets, scraping by, surviving on the margins. But when he saw the monks walking, something in his ancient memory sparked. He didn't just beg for food and leave, he joined the procession. He walked mile after mile, sleeping where the monks slept, moving when they moved, becoming a shadow to the pilgrimage. The Venerable named him Aloka, which means light, recognizing that within this scruffy, four-legged form, there was a seeking soul. The presence of Aloka invites us to consider a perspective that is often foreign to the Western mind but deeply healing to the human heart, the idea of rebirth and deep, invisible connections. When an animal attaches themselves to us with such inexplicable loyalty, or when we feel a sudden, profound kinship with a stranger, it may be because our stories are not new. We have walked together before. That dog, that cat, that bird in the garden, they may be our relatives from a past life, returning in a different form to offer companionship or to ask for help. When we view the world through this lens, the boundaries between us and them begin to dissolve. We start to see the light in all beings. We realize that the spider we are tempted to squash or the stray we ignore has its own history, its own struggles, and its own desire for happiness. This widening of our compassion is crucial because it softens the hardness of our hearts. If we can look at a stray dog and see a potential brother or sister, how much more should we be able to look at our difficult human family members and see their struggles? It reminds us that everyone is on a long journey, changing forms, changing roles, rising and falling. Aloka the dog, following the monks, was seeking the light of wisdom, just as we are. Recognizing this shared quest creates a bridge of empathy. We are all just fellow travelers, walking each other home, sometimes on 2 legs, sometimes on 4, but always seeking the same warmth of safety and belonging. However, even with this expanded compassion, the reality of difficult relationships remains. We all have people in our lives who seem designed to test our patience, the rebellious child, the critical parent, the betraying partner. Why do they come into our lives? Why is it that some families seem blessed with ease while others are plagued by constant strife? The mindfulness perspective offers a powerful tool for reframing this suffering, the concept of karmic debt. It suggests that our family members are not random accidents of biology. They are drawn to us by the magnetic pull of our past actions. If you have a child who brings you nothing but joy, who is easy and kind, it is a sign that they owe you a debt of love from the past. They have come to repay it with sweetness. But if you have family members who bring drama, pain, and difficulty, the ledger is likely reversed. It is we who owe them. Somewhere in the long, winding history of our souls, we may have caused them grief, and now they have arrived to collect what is due. When we view a difficult relationship as a debt we are paying off, our resistance fades. Instead of crying out, "Why is this happening to me?" or "It's not fair," we can shift to an attitude of acceptance. We can say, "I am clearing the books. I am balancing the energy." This does not mean we accept abuse or stay in dangerous situations. It means we accept the spiritual reality of the connection without resentment. We stop trying to run away. As the Venerable notes, many people try to escape their family troubles, sometimes through divorce, sometimes through moving away, and tragically, sometimes even through suicide. But you cannot run away from your own shadow. The debt follows you until it is paid with patience and love. By standing our ground and meeting hostility with kindness, by refusing to react with new anger, we settle the account. We break the cycle. We pay the debt of the past and, in doing so, we free ourselves to have a future that is lighter and unburdened. This acceptance is the bedrock of inner peace, the ability to look at a storm and say, "I accept this rain," rather than screaming at the clouds. The consequences of failing to cultivate this non-violence are not just spiritual, they are vividly physical. There is a somatic cost to living a life of anger and harm. The essay's source material draws a stark line between our actions toward others and the health of our own bodies. We are told that harming others, whether human or animal, eventually manifests as sickness within us. It is a concept that aligns with modern understandings of stress and trauma. The body keeps the score. When we carry hatred, when we act with aggression, we are flooding our own systems with toxicity. We might look in the mirror and see a person who appears innocent, someone who hasn't committed any crimes in this lifetime, and wonder, why am I sick? Why am I in pain? It is a question that plagues many. The answer offered is that our timeline is longer than we think. The seeds of our current suffering may have been planted long ago. But regardless of the cause, the cure is the same, a commitment to harmlessness, ahimsa. By consciously choosing not to kill, not to torture, not to punish, and not to harm any living being, we begin to heal the root of our own affliction. We stop ingesting the poison of violence. This creates a physical resonance of peace. When our actions are gentle, our sleep becomes deeper, our digestion smoother, our hearts lighter. The peace we grant to the spider, the dog, and the difficult neighbor reflects back to us as the health of our own cells. We are closed loops of energy. What we give is what we become. So, how do we break the machine-like habit of reaction? How do we find the space to remember aloka, to remember our debts, to choose self-love, and to put down the fuel when the fire starts? We are so used to reacting instantly. Someone yells, we yell back. Someone cuts us off, we honk. We operate on autopilot. To dismantle this machine, we need an anchor, something that is always with us, from the moment we are born until the moment we leave this world. We need the breath. It sounds almost too simple to be the solution to such complex problems. As the Venerable humorously notes, we might be bored of hearing about the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. We have heard it 1,000 times in yoga classes and therapy sessions. But we are reminded that the breath is life itself. It is the one constant companion that never abandons us. If we are bored with our breath, we are bored with life. The practice of mindfulness is not about escaping reality. It is about adding awareness to the reality that is already happening. It is about feeling the air enter the nostrils and feeling it leave, and in that tiny gap between the inhale and the exhale, finding the sacred pause. That pause is where our freedom lies. When the anger rises in the living room, if we can take just one conscious breath before we speak, we step out of the machine. In that split second of silence, wisdom has a chance to arise. We remember, this is adding fuel. I don't want to burn. We remember, this is a debt. I will pay it with patience. We remember, I love myself too much to poison my heart with this rage. The breath gives us the time to choose the response of a wise person rather than the reaction of a wounded one. Ultimately, the pilgrimage to peace is not a walk across a country, it is a walk inward. It is the journey from the head, which wants to be right, to the heart, which wants to be free. It is a path that asks us to cherish every being, to honor our debts, and to trust that by healing ourselves, we help heal the world. So, let us not wait for the world to become perfect. Let us not wait for our families to become saints. Let us begin right now, in the quiet of this moment. Let us take a breath, let it go, and step gently into the peace that has been waiting for us all along.